And we are live. Welcome back. Welcome front. Welcome up. Welcome down. To welcome all around if you're from the other side of town. Okay, that's all I've got
Welcome
for
to the
this act.
fifth dimension and people
Yes,
in the
the
fifth dimension
yes,
with all
welcome to the
their
people.
different.
Yeah. Yeah, the fifth dimension. Welcome everyone. No, I don't know. Call me a live streamer. I'm just gonna. I drop out of college, even though I already graduated university. I'm gonna
Yeah,
quit my job. Yeah, I'm gonna quit my job, but I'm unemployed. But no, welcome everyone to the live stream.
welcome.
But
Yeah,
the title of this video, I wanted to talk about. So I got an email that I might potentially for an internship, not a job, but for an internship, I might potentially move to California. And
woo.
yeah, I have been wanting to leave Texas for at least 2 or 3 years now. So I'm just very excited. I wanted to talk about it live. I mean, we can talk about anything, but this isn't going to be as serious as the other ones. It's going to be more conversational and just stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to begin with.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, I think it's great news, and I mean, California sounds like a great place in general. I mean, just looking at it, especially as a British person, with our
Yes.
miserable weather and unbearable summers without aircon. Yeah, California looks really nice.
Well, I think for me, it's like because in mind you, it's a job interview, so I still have so many steps and there's still a lot of uncertainty, but I think it's just the hope of leaving that makes me so
Yeah,
excited. Because I've
yeah,
been applying for I've been applying for so many jobs and so many roles and just hearing nothing. So the fact that I've at least gotten like an interview, and I'm like, okay, that's a whole lot more hope than nothing.
yeah, it is. It is. And I think, either way, it's like, as you said, it's about the hope of like, oh, you know, opportunities are opening up, doors are opening up. But I always feel like in life, I know it's not easy to believe in the moment, but I do genuinely feel like opportunities are always opening up if you put
Hmm.
yourself out there. So I think this is a really good sign.
I agree. I would only slightly disagree with you because sometimes opportunities are out there. It's just whether or not the door, like you can walk through the door.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. Yeah.
trust me, I feel like I've applied to. I was even looking at Starbucks jobs in Los Angeles. You know what? I'll be a
Why
barista and
not? Why
I
not?
get. And you know what? You've got a point there. Is if I really wanted to be there, I would find a way no matter what. I
Yeah.
think. I think as an adult, we add ourselves, oh, but there's logistics and this, and I have a student loan and I have this bills. And so it's like, oh, wait, I think you try to silo yourself. But yeah, if California was the goal, then yeah, I guess come hell or high water, I would just make that the goal, even if it wasn't an ideal job, and then make it work later on.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I get where you're coming from though as well, because I guess like like yourself, you've got like 3 degrees under your belt.
Mm.
You get this feeling of no, I've got this potential. And I completely get it. You've worked really hard, but like you said, where there's a will, there's a way. So if you
Mm.
really, really want to do something, sometimes, yeah. But as you said, I can really get that as well. Like you just at the start of your career, you would probably want to at least try to get into something,
Hmm.
you know, for a graduate.
Yes.
But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's like I've been having this feeling that Texas really stopped feeling like home to me a long time ago. And I've just wanted a place with beaches, with a mountain, with just I think just more nature because I can't speak for all of Texas because if you go down to South Padre, it's pretty. It's pretty down there. If you go
mm,
to a Big Bend, there's half of a mountain, in the southwestern part of Texas. But no, at least like in North Texas or in like the Texas Triangle, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston, it's pretty repetitive. And
right.
I just wanted to I wanted to explore. I just had this desire, like wanderlust.
Hmm. Yeah. And I guess for you guys, like the distance from Texas to California is pretty far, isn't it? Like in terms
Yeah,
of so it would be like us moving to somewhere like maybe in Central Europe. So it is
mm-hmm.
a far distance.
Yeah, it's like you going to Czechia, or it's like yeah, it's like
Czech
or
Republic. I
Czech
think it's
Republic
called
or
the Czech
Czech.
Republic.
Is it called the
I'm
Czech
not too
Republic or
sure.
Czechia? I don't. I'm gonna be
Chechnya.
honest. Or
Chechnya.
Chechnya.
I think Chechnya was in the Soviet Union. Hold on.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
But
it's
I
called
knew
the Czech
now I need to
Republic.
Czech Republic. I thought it was called because somebody corrected me. Yeah, it's called Czechia.
Chechnya.
Yeah, it's called Czechia. Okay, or the Czech Republic.
No,
It's called
but it
both.
says, yeah, because I mean, Czechia
It's
sounds like its actual name that the people call it, right?
oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
but in English
Because
it's
here,
called the Czech Republic. But on Google it's
yeah,
called
yeah.
Czechia. Okay, fine. So we'll
On
say
the map,
Poland.
on the map
We'll
it
s-
says
we'll say
Czechia, but
Poland.
like
We'll say Poland. Okay, imagine you moving to Poland. You know, I'm not trying to
you
get
just
defensive.
chose the next country along, which
Yeah, I
we can
chose the next. Yeah.
unanimously agree on is actually
It's actually called Pol or in Espanol Polonia. But no,
yeah,
we're gonna yeah, but yeah, so it's like you going to Poland, but yeah, me going to California distance wise. And
yeah.
I don't know if people in the UK realize like this how big the United States is.
I think if they've, I guess, I think if British people have only ever lived in the UK and then maybe like traveled to other kind of smaller countries, but when I went to America, I I was shocked at the size of it. I was like, damn,
Wow.
this country is huge. And not just that, it feels really spread out, like it's really vast. Like I was like, whoa, like this is not a place where you can just walk to your local shop. Like
No.
maybe in
No.
some cities, but like where I was, no. And yeah, compared to, I mean, the UK is tiny. We actually look bigger on the map than we are. We draw ourselves bigger on the map. But yeah,
I
the
wonder
UK,
why. Not joking.
yeah, yeah. Got some Freudian little science coming in there, but
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah, no, and it's yeah, and then it's the same with like Australia as well. Like
Oh, Australia is massive.
it's
It's
gigantic.
so is Brazil. Brazil is also a really
Yeah,
big country that I didn't
yeah,
expect. Like
yeah.
I knew this person. She lived in like Brasilia or like Brasilia or Goiânia, and I was just like, oh, that's like Rio's right there. And then I like actually like went on the map, and I was like, oh, you can't like that's a flight. You can't
Yeah,
casually go
yeah.
from
It's
one
like
part of
America.
Brazil.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
America. And then there are parts of Brazil which are not even discussed. Well, there are humans there, but they haven't made contact with the
Mm-hmm.
outside world.
Uncontacted. Yeah, like in the. I was talking to someone
Amazon.
recently. He was in the Amazons on
Yeah.
the they were on the other side. Either they were on the Colombian side or they were on the other side of the Amazons. And I was like, wow, I didn't know like the Amazons were that big that you could just go to.
Huge. It's huge. It's like and some people, I swear they call it like the lungs of the earth because there's just so many trees. There's like,
Oh, okay.
wow, wow, what a place.
Because the Nile River is pretty big.
Yeah. I think, isn't it the Amazon and the Nile? These are like the two biggest rivers in the world. I'm not sure which is the biggest or
Be-
longest.
because the Nile like starts in Uganda.
Yeah, wow. Is that where its
Like
basin is? Wow,
yeah.
that's
So
amazing.
actually, like the village where my dad's from is it's like the Nile is right there. Like the Nile is just so
Wow.
like when I go to the village, I'm just like, wow, like it's crazy how I'm like like so much like culture and so much importance is with that river. And for me, it's just
Oh,
like, oh, that's just a river like next to the village.
wow. Wow. That is actually so amazing to be like. And rivers, like, especially like in the kind of cultures I grew up in, especially like in Ireland, they have a huge significance. So, like, that's they kind of see it as like that's what gives you life. Like, that's your people's life source. And like for the Nile to be your river, wow, that's a flex. That's an amazing flex.
Yeah, no, and it's funny. I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender where they're
Uh,
stuck in like the river or like in the
mm,
pond, and the whole theme of the episode is it's like every like all the branches, everything's all connected and
yeah,
like this
yeah,
central hub. But yeah, it
yeah.
is it's crazy. Like geography, like when you think about it, like America, the United Kingdom, the Nile River, the Amazons, it's like I don't think the map or like globe does just the proportions
No,
justice.
no, it's exactly. It's only till you either like travel or fly over these places when you can kind of your brain starts to like scale it in your mind. because like it happened when I was in America, because when we kind of flew over like to New York and then flew down to
Hmm.
Florida. That was like a whole journey on
That's
itself.
like a 4 or 5 hour flight. It's like a
Yeah,
five. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And it's the same. I tell you, like in Australia, when you get to Australia, the top, you're like, no, the journey's not over yet. Like we still got to go
Mm.
all the way down, and it takes so long, like five
Hmm.
hours or 4 hours or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, yeah. And
And
like,
then, mhm.
yeah. Sorry, carry on.
No, no, keep going. No, you keep going.
No, I was just gonna say, by contrast, like when you're flying back into the UK, right? You get to France, and that's when the plane actually started, but not the like the Paris side of France. That's when the captain starts to descend, like he starts decline, like yeah,
Wow, he starts. You start your final descent. That's actually so weird. That's such
literally,
a
like
post
yeah, you
because
literally like on the decline into like Heathrow's, like that's how small the
wow.
UK is. Yeah.
But no, but what's also interesting is it's like when I'm in New York City because I spent a lot of time there.
Mm,
Going like 14 miles, which doesn't sound like that much, or maybe like 25 kilometers. I don't. It
yeah.
takes an hour. It takes like an hour. It takes like an hour to
Oh, it's like
yeah.
London.
Yeah, it's like London, where it's like, and then it's like
Yeah,
on other parts of the United States, it's like, good luck trying to travel. Just good luck
yeah,
trying to travel,
yeah,
because it's just not worth it.
yeah, yeah. And like you've told me as well, and I've also seen this myself, like some places you need a car. It's not even like,
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know, yeah,
Texas, you can't like, unless you want to spend hundreds of dollars a month in Ubers.
yeah, I know. Or like have a chauffeur, which like again,
Most people
that's
can't
like
afford.
yeah, like that's exactly. But no, like I mean, it's and that's why it's like you said, it's such an adventure for you to move to California.
Hmm.
I think that's so cool. Like in your own country, California is literally like a different country, especially compared to
Yeah.
Texas, because it's way more
Yeah.
liberal. You know, you've
Yeah.
got like yeah, yeah.
It's way more liberal. You have, I mean, there's also a large Hispanic, like Mexican Hispanic population,
Mm,
but
mm,
also it's like, I think also geographically it's way more diverse than Texas, where
mm.
western half of Texas is a desert, the eastern half is a swamp, and then where I'm at is like this, it's this weird gray area. It's not a desert, but it's definitely not a swamp. But with
Mm,
California, you have mountains. You can go skiing, you can go surfing, you can what is it called? There's farmland. There's also lots of vineyards. So many. There's
yeah,
vineyards in Texas, but in California, man, there are vineyards.
yeah. So beautiful. And I mean,
It's
cities as well. You've got Los Angeles, you've
hmm
got San Diego, right? San Francisco.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
There's Sacramento, there's
Yes.
Fresno, there's
Yeah.
I mean, and then there's also Coachella. We can go to Coachella, California. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is cool. Like I was thinking of Burning Man, but that's not in
No,
California.
I think that's in Nevada. I think that's in
Yeah,
Nevada.
okay. I
But
don't know
no,
why that came to my mind.
exactly. There's also like there's what is it called? What else is there? There's like the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Santa
There's this
Monica.
Santa Monica Cup. If you know, you know, inside joke. But yeah, Carmen by the Sea. There's so many. There's also another one I'm thinking of, but I can't remember it off the top. Oh, there's the Sequoia National Forest.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a mountain there called like the Sashta Mountain or something. I'm
I
probably
don't
saying
know the
it
mountains
wrong.
off the top of my head.
There's a really spiritual mountain in California, but there's a lot of like really,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And it's really important to the kind of native indigenous people of the area as well. But like lots of people go there hiking because it's a number one, it's apparently it's a good trek, but it's also like steeped in a lot of like
Okay.
spirituality. Yeah, that people have there's a lot of like you know me, there's a lot of kind of like activity, like you know, from
Okay.
other dimensions, according to people over there as well. So
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I do feel like there are parts of the earth where there are like gateways to have,
I yeah,
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 where I believe I believe like some parts where the magnetic whatever is going on with the magnetic pull or certain elevations might incline you to have certain experiences that you just wouldn't have in other parts
yeah,
of the world.
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that.
I do too. I do too. I mean, if you look at animals, like my dog, right, she would sit in a certain place and just bark. And it was like there was something about certain spots. She would sit there and she would just, it's like she could pick up on something. And
Yeah.
it could have been anything, could have been a scent. But like we're saying, like maybe we don't know the science behind it now, because people always jump down my throat and say, like, oh,
Oh,
this
the
is,
science.
yeah, like, oh, you just want I'm like, no, I'm not claiming this is magic. And anyway, I won't go into that rabbit hole.
Well,
But yeah,
no,
I'm just like,
and it's not well, but I do want to say though, like, first of all, this is a place where mysticism is welcomed on this. We can be
hmm,
mystics, you know. This is the
holistic.
T, yeah, this is the TP. Remember, this is the T. There's a
Yeah,
TP. There's a
yeah.
TP. But no, and I think also California for me doesn't just represent like new opportunities. I think
Mm.
also it's like rebirth. Like I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
opportunity because I've wanted to be out. I've been wanted to be out in nature so much. Right now in Texas, it's I guess you'd say 40 degrees Celsius. You'd call it 40 degrees.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that is
40.
hot.
Yeah, it's 40 degrees, and it's
Yeah.
also there's also a lot of humidity too.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not a dry heat. Whereas with California, because I would be in the Bay Area, in the Bay
Mm.
Area, it's like maybe in the 20s year round. Let me check
Yeah.
on my, I don't know off the top of my
I
head.
see a lot of people from the Bay Area. They constantly seem to be sitting outside at like
Oh yeah.
restaurants and cafes. So
Year
yeah,
round, and you can
that's
do it
really
year
pleasant.
round.
Yeah, yeah, literally year round. I see a lot of people on TikTok. They're like streaming outside in the Bay Area. It looks really nice though. It looks really,
Yeah,
really
so
nice.
I just checked the weather in Celsius. It's like 15 to 20 degrees Celsius around.
That's pleasant.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so yeah. And then year round it's like between 10 and 20. 10 degree. Yeah.
that's
It
really
it
nice.
doesn't really freeze and it doesn't really get too hot. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No wonder why it's such. I mean, I can see why you would be heading there because you know you've got your whole tech in Silicon Valley and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind
Mm-hmm.
of stuff. But yeah, other aside from that, like it just seems like it's a very pleasant location in terms of weather. And I mean, the Golden Gates Bridge. Wow, like
Oh, it's so beautiful. And
I could be on top of that all day.
apparently the Golden Gate Bridge like whistles or hums like at certain part like when it gets windy enough, apparently it'll make like a
Oh,
whistling noise. So I'm gonna
oh wow.
yeah. So
There's a
you
lot
know,
of like lore around the Golden Gates Bridge, which I probably maybe this is not the right segue to go down because I think you know without saying it's not. There are a few things you know which I don't really want to go
okay.
down, but yeah,
Okay, that's
no,
weird. Yeah.
I'm stopping myself because it's. I think I don't need to say another reason why you know to do, but I think it's a beautiful piece of architecture, regardless.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I think it is a great piece of architecture. I think that's also another thing that I'm very excited about is I've gotten used to Texas houses. So I'd be
yeah.
there's some like Victorian influence. Like I don't know if you know Full
Ooh,
House, like Full
yeah,
House. That
yeah.
Full House, like when you look at the outside, that's not the most
Mm.
American looking. Like when I look at
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So San Francisco kind of has houses like that. So
yeah.
see seeing that and then just yeah, just I think also there's also like 3.5 hours away, there's Lake Tahoe. I don't
Oh,
know if you know
okay.
Lake Tahoe, but you can
I
ski.
do.
Yeah, you can go ski
Yeah.
and you can. So I'm just like like luckily I know there's a lot of interviews I have to go through, but if these interviews go well, I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
next thing, yeah, these
I'm
live stream.
excited for you. I'm excited for you, man, because I'm like, this sounds so nice.
Hmm.
You know, and with all the interviews, obviously, I think as well, something to hold on to is the end goal and be like, you know what, keep that vision in your mind. Like, if I get through these stages, I've got this at the other side. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, thank you. I think for me, it's like being in your 20s is so weird because some people are getting really serious in their relationships, some people are starting their careers, some people are still trying to figure things out. Some people pop a few kids out, like pop a baby. I'm like, wow,
Hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
that's an option. But no,
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like I used to feel a lot of shame in the path I took, spending so much time in school, spending longer in Texas. But I feel like the choices I've made now kind of make me appreciate the next chapter.
Mm, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like from the space you are now, you can, like you said, you've been through things that you didn't necessarily enjoy, you felt a bit trapped. So yeah, you're gonna have a really huge appreciation for now the thing when things start falling into place for you, yeah, hopefully you'll feel more gratitude, which is a great thing.
Because Ellie, some of the times I've felt the most grateful in my life has been because I know the feeling of the opposite of having nothing, being
Yeah,
being rejected, feeling like a failure or like a disappointment. You know what I like? Yeah,
yeah,
like our life. That's when I've had like some of the best, like some of my highest highs have come because I know what the opposite feels like.
yeah, yeah, that's actually true. And yeah, I completely can relate to that as well. And it's kind of like a simple feeling of joy, right? It's not like this grandiose, like, oh, I'm so, it's just more like, wow, this feels nice to feel at home, to feel settled. Because, and it also, but it also makes you very, like, I think grateful, but also a bit conscious as well. Like, I know what it feels like to go without.
Mm-hmm.
So you start doing everything you can to never go back to that place. But
Yeah.
you can never say never. So again, it's always important to have compassion for yourself and be like, you know what, I'm trying, I'm doing the best I can. And yeah. So
And no, Ellie, you said the words, I couldn't say it any better, especially about the words compassion for yourself.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
That's
lesson.
essential.
Yeah, it is essential. That's a lesson that, it's weird in computer science, there is a right and a wrong answer. Either your code runs or your code it doesn't run.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's like when it comes to emotions, there isn't some right. It's not binary. It's just not binary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You're absolutely right. And I think I was telling you this because I was researching this because you know people like to think that there's a right and a wrong answer in life and then they will try and like bring maths into it, but I think it's approximations, right? Which humans are like the for us truth and the best way to be is like an approximation because there's way too many variables like playing into each other, and it's like an open-ended thing, so it's like you can never be like you're saying in computer science, with these binaries, right or wrong, on or off. Like humans don't work like that. And I don't think we're meant to work like that personally. We're not meant to work like that.
And so I think like when it comes to like trying to make decisions where there isn't really a clear answer, I've actually tried to accept that I actually try to use a different framework. I try not I'm like I think that's the limit of computer scientific thinking because I
Yeah,
think a lot of people in our society or just in our world or like in our day-to-day life, they try to apply like algorithmic thinking to like emotions. And I think that actually causes a lot of problems.
yeah, because by definition, emotions are not logical. They
Mm-mm.
operate in a different system. Like logic is logic, but emotions are not, as far as we know. Like they're not logical. Like it's think about it. Getting angry is usually never a logical decision. Like anger exists for a reason, right? It's something that's meant to either make you fight or run away or yell or something. But is it really logical when there's so many other things you could do instead of getting angry? But it's still valid. It's still an emotion. What I think is important with emotions is you get them, but you don't have to act on them. That's the difference, And I think that's where people are really mixed up. I feel like we've been taught the wrong thing in society so much. So yeah, it's like we all have a lot of learning to do about these things.
And I think a lot of teaching or a lot of things that I was taught growing up when it came to emotions is just be happy, just be
Oh,
positive.
yeah.
Jesus will just solve everything, just blanket slate. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, first of all, I could agree with those things, but that doesn't really like help me change what I'm experiencing in the moment right now.
I know, I know. And this whole thing of be happy, happy is one emotion. You can't be happy all the time. I mean, why would it? I know I was taught the same thing as a kid. Like the goal in life is to be happy. We just hear this over and over again, but it's like, wait, happiness is one emotion and you can't even choose it. People don't realize this. You
No.
can't choose your emotions; they just emerge inside of you. So it's like the better aim is to be stable, is to search for peace. Is to like be in the moment and actually be okay what with ever you're feeling. Be a
No,
happiness, sadness. Yeah,
because for me, I've been searching for balance. I've
balance
been
is a
searching
great
for,
way to
oh my,
describe it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I think of it like where when I'm really, really upset, or if I'm really, really sad, or even if I'm really, really happy,
yeah.
I'm just
Mhm.
like, no, like, let me take this and then try to find a balance
Yeah.
because for me, it's like, while it's great to feel like all the range of emotions, I know like that's just not my permanent state.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. That's another good point to make because emotions have a set limit of how long they can last. You know, they we always feel as well like I'm going to be sad forever, but actually, I can't remember how long the emotions sustain themselves for, but they're like waves. They come and they go. Like, so you just ride the wave, like you said, you know. It's not your permanent state. You just let the emotion
No, it's
happen
not.
to you. Yeah, yeah.
And this was a very hard lesson to learn. Like this was
Mm,
it didn't happen overnight. It was through trial and error. Well,
mm,
more error than trial, but
yeah.
I realized like with time, I was like, oh, like the times I feel the happiest or the times I feel the best, it's almost by accident.
Mm,
It's not like I purposely am like, well, I'm gonna wake up today and I'm gonna be happy. No, like, okay, like I have these responsibilities, and then these are hobbies I like to do, and then
mm,
like it's like I looked at what I had to do day to day, and then I looked at things I enjoyed and then things I disliked, and I was like, okay, let me try to do the things I enjoy and try to
mhm.
understand that, and let me try to understand why I dislike certain things, and then just with time, I just found a routine that works for me.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's also important to kind of when people say I want to be happy, it's like what do they actually mean by that? Because I sometimes think happiness is actually like a replacement because they don't know what other word to use. But really, I think people sometimes mean I want stability, I want connections, I want a purpose. I think that's what they actually mean when they say happiness. Because when you have those things, like you said, happiness naturally follows. It generates inside of you. So it's like, right, aim to do the things that will enable happiness to start flowing, like instead of aiming to try and be happy.
And I do think, the one thing computer science ironically taught me is I don't think people know what they want. Like
No.
or at least I don't think the average person knows what they want. I think they have an idea of what they might want or what they wanted in the past. But I think like in the current thing, when there's like, yeah, I want to be happy, I want to be rich, I want to be like, and it's like, okay, you want to be wealthy. Are you willing to then put 60, 70, 80 hours of work into a career or become a
Yeah.
banker or start this entrepreneur? Or are you willing? It could strain your relationships. Or I want to be famous. It's like, are you willing to try to be an influencer or to do all these auditions? And I'm not
Hmm.
like trying to say like, oh, you got to grind yourself to get what you want, but it's like the things you want, it's like those I think are like they're not approximations because they might just be like you might vaguely desire something, but
Yeah.
actually wanting something and actually having it, because the people who are famous, the people who are wealthy, the people who are like athletic and all these things, it's like they also like complain, their lives also have problems too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's like you just said, it's like when people say I want to be famous, I want to be rich, it's like actually what do you want? Because like you said, money's going to bring you a lot of new problems. And ask any rich person, it's like the more money they get, the more
Hmm.
problems they've got. And it's like, do you want stability? Do you want a place to live? Like, and with most people, I think when they say so, especially the fame one, I think what they're looking for is validation. And the brain shortcut is, oh, if I get famous, I'm going to get recognized. I'm going to be seen. People are going to want to be around me. And I don't think that, like, I think if anyone is looking just to be famous, I don't really think that comes from a healthy place. I think that comes
Hmm.
from a place, yeah, of lacking something. You know, if you,
Because
no, no,
yeah, no, I completely, because when I first started YouTube, I was like, I'm gonna get a million views. I'm gonna be like the next David Dobrik, Logan Paul. Like these were the people who were popular at the time.
back
Jake
then,
Paul.
yeah,
Yeah, this was right before Mr. Beast, right before the Mr. Beast area.
yeah,
I'll be the
like the
next.
kind of Vine,
Yeah, the
Vine
Vine, like
people, yeah,
PewDiePie.
yeah.
Yeah, so I could be like, yeah, Jacksepticeye. I could be like Markiplier. And then I realized like as I started uploading and I got like 5 views, 3 views, 10 views. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna give up. This is too hard. But then even with this channel, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna give up. But then I realized like, wait a second, I don't want like I really don't want to get recognized on the street. I really don't want to like I really don't want that. Like for me, YouTube is just a place for me to explore and expand ideas.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a benefit in that too. Like there's a great side to that. Like you said, the people who do get really famous, my God, the amount of problems that come with that.
Yeah. How many
Honestly,
s- how many scandals has Jake Paul had? Like
oh,
how many Yeah, same for Logan Paul too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got
And the amount of like, and I'm not judging anyone here, but like
mm,
in kind of, especially with like, just take a look at the entertainment industry, performers, actors. So many people have like addiction issues, mental health struggles. I mean, I look at Britney, who like I really love Britney Spears, and I feel so bad for her because I feel like I don't think she necessarily wanted fame. I think she's genuinely talented, and I think her family pushed her a lot for.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
also another problem. A lot of people are just really funny, really
yeah,
talented, really like have a great voice, very good at
yeah,
acting. And then yeah,
dancing.
fame, yeah, dancing, and then fame just became a result of their talent.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, there's like two sides to fame. Either it's a byproduct of your talent or your career, or there's the people who just are narcissistic and they just want to be up there. But like,
Hmm.
yeah, Britney Spears, like I when I look back, and I mean, I remember when she had her first like mental health crisis back in, I think it was 2007 or 2008.
Maybe.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you remember it because you probably were a little kid. Yeah.
No, I was because it's her sister Jamie Lynn Spears. I just
Oh,
remember her
okay.
getting pregnant at like that's the one I'm more
Yeah.
familiar with.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that yeah. Yeah, no, I remember the newspapers because like my parents, well not my dad, but like yeah, in my house there would be like the Sunday newspaper
Hmm.
and on the news, I remember them like harassing her, hounding her, printing her picture on the front page of like, oh, look at her, Britney Spears has gone crazy. And I'm even back then, I remember thinking, oh my God, looking back on it now, you're just like, the poor woman was having a mental health crisis because of so much going on in her life. What fame did to her mental health, the way people treated her. And people made it into a media circus. And again, like that's what we're seeing. These
Yeah.
are the real life, and these are serious consequences, like mental health being destroyed, relationships being destroyed, like addiction issues. Is it worth it? I don't think anyone would swap that for a
No.
healthy, like, yeah.
But the problem is, it's like you look at like the average person that has to go into an office and work from 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, and then has to like yeah commute and has to deal with like they just see so much mundane. So like when you see entertainers, you're just like, oh my gosh, they get to just go on set, they get to just go to the studio, they get to travel, they get to do all this fun, and then they realize. And also, it's like the entertainers we're talking about, that's like the top 1%. I think the average actor makes like 20 or 30. I'm talking about the average union actor. Makes maybe
Mm.
20 or 30,000 a year. So like it's not even so even it's only a small percentage of entertainers that are actually on that level. The average person is just like they still have to have a normal job. They'll still either wait tables or they'll have a normal desk job, and it's just something they do on the side.
Because I understand that though. I completely relate to that because it's the love of the craft, right? It's like getting up on stage or acting, singing, whatever it might be. I could completely relate to that, like the passion of it. Yeah, you still have to wait tables, but it's worth it.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah, and like you said, and that's I guess at those levels you wouldn't necessarily experience the same intense like that super fame comes with. So yeah, it's an yeah, but I think like we were saying, all these questions are like when people want these things, money, and I think sometimes I hear guys saying they want to, they want women, they want access to
Oh,
women.
they want to, yeah, they
That's
just want to
something
like
men
sleep
can
with.
say.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Yeah. Oh,
I love
Ellie,
that in
yes.
with yeah, yeah.
No, and from the guy's perspective, because I was like that 17, 18, 19. I was like, oh, I just want like a girl with a big butt and like these boobs, and she's just a supermodel, and she's all these things. We're just gonna do this and that. And it's like I think it comes from like because I was very insecure when I was younger because I was told that being a man meant that you were sleeping with a very attractive woman.
Yep, yep, yep. It's like the woman on your arm is representative
Mhm.
of your status,
Mhm.
which that's so problematic. Like I can't even, there's so many levels to that of how problematic it is. And as you said, as a young guy, you can absorb that message. I think a lot of young
Oh yeah.
guys do
Oh
actually,
yeah.
yeah. And
That's why I look at the red pill and I'm just like, no, I completely I actually get it. I don't defend the talking points. I don't defend the whatever like the messages, but I can empathize with the emotion because it's like I've been there too, and I think a lot of young men have been there.
yeah, yeah. And I even see really young, young people just
Mhm.
naturally gravitate towards those views.
Mhm.
I don't know why, but I guess it takes an older, like an adult, to come in and say, hey, look, yes, these views might look like they make sense, but there's nuance in life. Life isn't black and white. And, women are also humans. We're not, the red pill is full of stereotypes. It's just
Yeah,
full,
it is.
yeah, it's full of stereotypes, like just I would say a lot of hatred. I think there's a lot of hatred in there. And they make out that women are like, look, women do not have these happy, lovey-dovey lives. Like we got issues too. Like guys have their issues, but so do
So
women.
do and it's yeah, and women aren't a part of like this agenda to like, to do this.
Cabal.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
to bring all the and then feminism is this thing and it's like no, like and I
Yeah.
think if I were to like, give a time travel like if I could like time travel back to when I was 18, 19, I really wish that I had like first of all, I wish I had better I wish I could like say that it's okay to express how I feel about things like I think, like, if I had told women, I'm very insecure about my lack of romantic experiences with women. If I was more upfront with the women that were in my life and, like, even the men that were in my life about that, I think I would have at that time had less radical views because
Hmm.
when I look back at like my like 18, 19, like early years of uni, my early years of college, I just see someone trying to like I'm trying to like prove myself. Like
Hmm.
I'm this guy, like I've moved like I'm in New Jersey, I've done this, I'm so far away, I need to now like get this woman or do this and but at the end of the day I still had insecurities. And
Mm-hmm.
instead of like addressing them and being honest with them, it's like I watched red pill content, I tried to be super like MAGA, I tried to be super conservative because I just thought that would like, make me this man.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. And I get what I'm hearing from all this is like it's like not regulating internally, or it's not introspecting. It's like the insecurity I'm feeling, I'm going to try and fix it with the outside world. I'm going
Hmm.
to attach to an identity. And I was there. I was in the exact same place. I was there like, yep, I'm miserable. I've got this whole trauma behind me. I'm going to solve it by changing identity, like changing personality. I didn't go inwards because I couldn't. I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the knowledge. And I think sometimes our brains literally reject it, especially if there's like trauma, especially if there's like deep, deep issues. It's like your brain will just, it will go out there and it will just try anything to get away from what it perceives to be like the cause of the problems. And unfortunately, sometimes our brain feels like we are the cause of the problem,
Yeah.
which couldn't be further from the truth.
And it's weird. It's like when I think of like male loneliness, which I've talked about extensively on this channel, I really like I can't solve it. I don't have the tools to solve it, but I think though that like I think that communicating and saying like I think telling someone a trusted person that you feel lonely, I think that just is so helpful because I
Mm.
wish that when I was 18, 19, I had told people in my life, hey, like I have these insecurities and I don't know what to do. Like, I think because I always thought, oh, he would
Oh,
say you would,
Jason.
oh my gosh. Okay, but Jason, I want to say though that like, we're not really gonna talk about Islam as much. We're gonna like, you can say jokes here and there, but we're mainly gonna focus on just talking about just young
Yeah,
life stuff and young adult life.
yeah, just yeah. So I think the kind of theme today is like because Caleb might be moving to California, so we're just kind of like talking about as Caleb said, like moving through life and just yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
transitions.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
transition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, yeah. But no, but no, what I was saying is I wish I could go back and like tell my younger self, it's like, hey, like what is it called? The right people will accept you for your insecurities. Because I really thought that like by just taking on these external things, I also thought that like, not to like put race into it, but I thought like, okay, like I'm a black dude, but I can be conservative, I'll just like they'll get me in with like, white people and this and I just
Oh,
like
okay.
thinking like I was thinking I was like, oh, I'll just with the right people and this and so there was like also some internalized like racism I was trying to
Mhm.
navigate through. But now that I'm like older, I'm like, no, like I can have the political beliefs I can have, which, first of all, they're not purely Republican, they're not purely Democrat. I'm politically homeless. So
Right.
I didn't just go from, oh, I went from super MAGA and now I'm super liberal. No, I went from like being conservative to then like just questioning, and I call it being like, I hate the term, but politically independent. Not
Yeah.
independent in the American sense, but literally just no, I just take things like as they are.
Like a holistic approach to politics. Like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, exactly. And no, I totally get that. And oh, is this Jason
Jason,
saying
no,
apology?
no. Oh my gosh, no, Jason. I also like. I first heard about Andrew Tate in 2020. I actually heard about him in like. I've heard about him. So I heard about him 3 years before he was popular. Like I was
Yeah.
watching Andrew Tate videos, and yeah, it's like at the time it was so tempting, but then I just was like, I think, like I said, I had gotten in a relationship during the time when I was also like really into red pill content. And so that really started like the way I wanted to treat her. Like I was like, you need to submit to me this. But then I was like, I started feeling bad the way I was treating her. So that's when I started questioning the red pill.
Well, that's see, there you go. Like every human, and I stand by this, every human who's not got kind of like some sort of antisocial personality thing going on,
Hmm.
but like ones of us, the ones are humans who can feel empathy and stuff. You have that internal guidance inside you. So this is how I truly believe humans can sense what's true, what's good, what's
Okay.
not. Like
Okay.
even though the manosphere was so tempting and it was like, oh, look, this is what's going to make me be like a successful man. When push came to shove and you actually saw another human, like human to human, treating her like when you felt like you would disrespect. I'm not saying you did disrespect, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
getting
Yeah. Yeah. Not
like,
intentionally.
yeah,
Like I wasn't
yeah,
intentional, but yeah.
that you could sense there was kind of dehumanization or something that came through and was like, no, this is still a human in front of me. Like,
Hmm.
and no ideology can destroy that.
No, and I think I talked about this on my first video with you, Ellie, where I said about like compass, like I think truth is like a compass
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
all have.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I mean, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how it's instilled in us, but I just know it's there. I just know it's there. Like it's intuition, right?
Well, I think a part of I think consciousness and truth are related.
I
So
agree.
I
Yeah.
think like when you're conscious, that gives you like I don't know why. I think a part of consciousness is having like some guidelines for what you perceive as true.
Yeah. People call it like the life force kind of thing. So like
Hmm.
you're saying, and it is related to consciousness too. It's like, that thing that kind of gets a baby to start being alive in
Yeah,
the womb.
yeah, the
And
cry,
then
or yeah, yeah,
yeah,
or
or when it
yeah,
just born,
yeah,
yeah,
when it's just bored. But
exactly.
yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you mean. Yeah,
yeah. And then when a person sadly dies and you see that body and you're like, that person's not there anymore. There's just something you can sense it's
missing.
missing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
missing.
And I
Or
think we
even when
also,
someone's dying, even when someone's like
yeah,
when they're like
yeah.
dying, this you can say, oh, that life force, it's leaving them.
You can, yeah, and you can, it's like you can feel it in a weird way. And I don't want to call it weird, but like you can
Yeah.
sense it. And like I think we both said the other day, like it's like the anima, which I think is a
The
great word.
anima.
Yeah, the anima. Yeah, that Latin word for
Yeah,
like,
yeah, anima. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like it's spirit, or it means living being, like living
yeah,
being. It's where
or
we get the word
literally the thing that,
animated.
yeah, the thing that animates you, like the thing
Yeah.
that just turns, I don't know, a bunch of cells and bones and muscle into a living thing. And look, I know some people are going to say, it's the brain, like it's the brain,
Well,
it's all in the brain. And I'm like, yeah,
but
fair enough. The brain is definitely linked to consciousness. I do not deny that. But show me where consciousness is in the brain. You can't. Nobody
yeah,
can
I
find
was just about to say, even neuroscientists and neurobiologists can't fully explain consciousness. I think
it. Yeah.
I think and this is what I dislike about I guess the postmodern world or the world we live in now is everything has to have a diagnosis. Everything has to have a label. Everything
Mhm.
has to be and it's funny, as somebody who studies computer science, you would think I would also like this kind of worldview. But no, like there's some things I
Yeah,
push back on because I'm like,
yeah,
you know what? When I love something or someone, I don't need a label for that. When I
exactly,
when I dislike something, I don't need a label. Like I can just exist without
exactly.
there being some deeper reason.
Exactly, exactly. Like, I completely agree. Like, you cannot put a name to, like you just said, love. And why is
No,
love such a strong motivating force? Oh my gosh. Like, you cannot explain the experience of the color yellow. You just can't. You
no.
just know it's yellow. You know, you see it. That's it. That's how I see it too. Um, but I think, and I've also said to people, like, in my darkest days, when I was literally really in a bad place, the only thing that pulled me back was some form of spirituality. There's no way around
Yeah.
it. There's no way around it.
And no, no, like Ellie, like, and for me, like, when I started questioning my own, like, Christian faith, I think what also, like, really guided me was I looked back at the times of when I felt the most accepted, and I realized that, like, it was just it was just the I guess people's kindness and just like it was just the lessons I was taught. Even though
Mm-hmm.
I may not attribute it to Christianity, I might think it's just about I think it's humanity. Like I think a lot of the Christian values I taught were human values.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that yeah, like my spirituality of believing in a higher power and just like just doing that also like it's not explainable, you can't like I can't really describe it, but it's always something that even like in my darkest times I'm like no, I want this in my life. I didn't want to go like okay, well I disbelieve in this one thing so now I'm this atheist. No, I never wanted to go down that path.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely relate to that. I mean, I did go down an atheistic path. I think I spoke about it before.
Hmm.
And I look, if it works for someone, it works for them. I'm not going to sit here as well and be like, you know what, like, because I know that I do know atheists and it works for them.
No, me too. My closest friend is an atheist. Actually both
Yeah,
of them are
yeah,
very atheist.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and the way that like we when we talk about like spirituality, they have some points because there are some things I can't prove, but I
Mm.
also say like there's some things they can't prove either. And
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly. And it's like, all I say to people is, and some people don't like this also, but none of us know. None of us know for
No,
certain. And
no,
nobody has the authority on truth. No one does.
no. I think Hassan Radwan said it. Like I was watching one of his videos, and he said something about like how like yeah like Christianity, Judaism, Islam, none of them have a monopoly on morality. They don't.
Yeah, they're
No one,
exactly.
none of these Abrahamic religions, atheist, agnostic, have a monopoly on morality. Morality is a human
Yeah,
virtue.
absolutely. And every human has worth, whether people like that. And that's another controversial thing these days for some people. Some people really feel like, you know what, that group over there, they don't deserve, it's a terrible thing to believe. I mean, that is really, really like awful, because views like that are literally what led to, I don't know if I can say it on your stream. I don't want
You
to.
could say in the 1930s Germany. You could say
Yes,
1930s
yes.
Germany. Yeah, you
The
could
the
say that.
horrific, yes, the
Yeah,
horrific
yeah. You
World
can
War
some of the
II
worst. Yeah, World War. Yeah, the context
and
for World War
and
II.
transatlantic slave trade as well.
Transatlantic slave trade. You could also think about what is it called? No, you could just think of yeah, like gypsy people, the way they were treated, or just even like people, yeah, just marginalized groups. The
Yeah,
moment you
yeah,
dehumanize anybody else,
yeah.
that doesn't like that's one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah. And also, like you said, claim to have a monopoly on morality or decide what's like, what does human life mean in your terms? Who gets to live, who gets to flourish? Like, no, like, I think, evidently, one of the clearest evidences we have that we all have worth is if you're born, if you came into existence, and none of us can control that, right? None of
Yeah.
us can. Like,
Yeah, I didn't ask to be born.
no, no, exactly. If you made it this far, that's something to do with out there. Like that goes to do with forces of nature, whatever you want to call it. So no, you don't get to tell people if they decide if they are worthy of anything.
And I think I also believe that all life is sacred.
I agree as
Now,
well.
like there are people who in my life I deeply disagree with. I mean, they've done things, they've acted in a way that I generally dislike, but that
Mm.
does not give me the excuse for me to demean the life that they have within them.
Yeah, I
Like
agree. Yeah, yeah,
exact,
yeah.
and it's actually, and this is also another hard thing is it's like I understand the people who do dehumanize. I don't fully understand, but sometimes it is easier to just say, "Oh, like I wish something bad happens to you. I wish evil." Like I get it because in my lowest times, I've also been tempted to wish evil on others too.
Well, I think we've all been there, man. With
Yeah,
that's, but I think that's to do with our like nature as human beings because we can be tribalistic, and I guess at one point it served a purpose. You know, if a random tribe comes towards you and you don't know who they are, like it wouldn't have been safe to just be like, oh, let's come into my camp and just sit with all my vulnerable people. Like that level of like, distance, I guess it did serve its purpose. But the thing about being human is we can rationalize things, we can rise above it. Like, yes, the emotion might arise, but you can rise above it. But not everyone
exactly.
does that.
And
Yeah.
no, and the worst part is it's like this is something I really had to learn as an adult. Is like treating people because I grew up kind of in a very sheltered environment where like it was like I went to a Christian school, I went to like it was like socially conservative. It was like there was like Caleb, we're the good people, and I was just like, wait a
Mm.
second, like we're the good people, but then what about like Hindus or like people who like are born in Islamic countries? Or what
Mm-hmm.
about Jewish people? Or what about Buddhist or Zoroastrian or atheist or secular? Why like I don't feel like we did anything inherently for this way of life to be the correct way.
Yeah. And I think like a strength of yours is that you can think outside the box.
Mm.
Because believe it or not, that's a lot of people don't do that. Like they'll just accept this as the narrative. Okay, we're the best, and yeah, they don't really question it. So yeah, it's good that you're able to think outside the
Yeah.
box because imagine if you had stayed in that mindset, you would have all the friends you've got now, all the experiences that you're
Oh yeah.
having,
Would
just
not have happened.
yeah, like it would have been really difficult.
Yeah, and it's weird, like, what's even weirder is it's like when I come back, like, to see either somebody from middle school or high school or like somebody who when I met in at context, I describe my life now. And it's almost as if I might as well like, I might as well be speaking Russian to them. Like I
Mm,
might as well, because it's as if I'm speaking a foreign language when I say, oh, like, I've lived with people from this culture, or
yeah.
like I know people that speak this language, or I know people that practice this religion, or I know people that hold these political beliefs. And I'm like, and they like look at me as if, since I've stepped outside of the preconceived box, it just, like they're just so confused by that.
Yeah, I know. And it's, again, like we said, I guess it's that sheltered upbringing. And look, even in London, I know people like that. And actually, in my kind of neighborhood where I live, people, because I'm like one of the only British people where I live, believe it or
Yeah.
not. And it's quite isolating.
Well,
It's
that's so
actually pretty
strange. That's so
isolating. Yeah.
strange that like there are parts of the UK where if you grew up there and stayed there, you're almost like like it's like you need a visa just to go to your backyard or something.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. In my case, I did not grow up in this part of London.
Okay.
I think I told you before, like I did a mini hijra. I don't know if you'd call it mini, but I did do a hijra inside of my own country,
Yeah.
so I could live in a more
Yeah.
Islamic area.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I did that in my early 20s. But like, what I didn't foresee was that now I'm in an area where like I'm pretty much the only one who's like, yeah, like my age. All the other people stick with their little, I
Yeah.
don't know what you call it. Like I guess the Muslims kind of stick with the Muslims, but even within that, like the Albanian ones stick with each other, the Bangladeshi,
Oh, so like the South Asian stick, yeah, and the
yeah, and
Arabs,
even
or
and even in that, like
oh,
there's
even and
cliques.
even
Like,
within the South Asian, it's like Pakistani,
yeah,
Indian,
yeah, yeah,
Bangladeshi.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's so interesting.
Because London is like you can find your own community and like form a very tight knit community because there's so many people who like migrate here. But if you're someone like me who's British and I live here, and there's just barely anyone, and that might sound like an exaggeration, but it's really not. Like, it's not.
That's so because in Dallas, like in Dallas, uh, it's interesting. There's like some, I would say there's like if you're more socially conservative, there's that culture for you. If you're a little bit, honestly, I would say it's like if you're a little bit more progressive, that one is a little bit more difficult, but it's still there. Like there's still something for you. If you're Hispanic, oh, oh, we got taco. You got tacos and
Yeah.
burritos. If you're
Yeah.
Hispanic. But yeah, like it is interesting though because what's interesting about Dallas, and I noticed this in Austin too when I was in Austin, is that if you like grew up in Dallas, grew up in Austin, grew up in Houston and San Antonio, it's like growing up there, there's so many adults that move there from other parts of the country. It's so
Mhm.
isolating. Like when I go out to bars or when I go out and I say where like I'm from here, people are just like, "Oh wait," like because a lot of people just moved here as an adult.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's
It's
not.
a bit like London too. A lot of people move
Mhm,
here as an adult or a young
mhm,
person. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's not to the same scale as it's not as much of a cultural shock.
Yeah.
But no, but it still is a bit weird where like I can't really like there's some childhood things I can't relate to because people are just from different parts.
Yeah. And I feel like I think we said it before, like that fragmented sense of community. It's such a horrible feeling. Like, I mean, I guess it's modern life though. So many of us have to like I'm the same. I moved around a lot after a certain age, never really built a community anywhere. And after I'd moved out of London as a teen, but like, yeah, it's I guess it's modern society. But we what we do now is we like fork out our own
Yeah.
communities in the way we can, like online, that's
You just read my mind. Yeah.
I read your mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think with the internet now it's like because Ellie, I can't have these conversations in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, I
I
know. Neither can
I
I.
can't. I
You
would
know.
like I would love to sit and I kind of get I can get like maybe 30 or 40% there. I can
Yeah.
talk about aspects of our conversation, but like talking about alternative spiritualities or talking about like whether it be entities or experiences or whether and yeah, I can't do that because people just want to talk about barbecue. People just want to talk about like their jobs and oh
Chit
my
chat,
gosh, my
small talk.
boyfriend, yeah, my
Yeah.
boyfriend's doing this, my girlfriend, my fiance, my husband. It's not that I don't care, it's just repetitive to me.
I know, but that's I have the exact same thing. I have no time for small talk. I just don't. And unfortunately though, it's like a neurotypical thing, which
Hmm.
is very important to neurotypical people to
And I get
chit
it.
chat.
I get
Yeah.
it. Like, I get it when you don't know people. Like, yes, chit chat. But I think if I'm going to spend a lot of time with someone, I want to have the most fun I can have.
I know, and I'm the same. But what I was taught that chit chat and small talk is like grooming. It's humans' way of grooming, and it serves a purpose. It's now not actually about learning anything new. It's about strengthening bonds and social and reinforcing social
Hmm.
bonds. So, like you and I think because we're pragmatic people, we're
Yeah.
like, what is the point of talking about like this mundane stuff? We're not getting anywhere. We're not working anything out. But then for those people, they look at like someone like me who wants to talk about, I don't know, the origin of life. They're like, girl, like what? I don't want to talk about that. Like, I just want to talk about Love Island.
And well, hey, Ellie, I will say though, I do love Love Island. I
I know,
do.
I know.
I
I used to watch it too. Okay, I used to watch it too.
well,
No
and it's
disrespect to Love Island.
but the crazy, but even something as simple as Love Island, when I do talk about it, oh, but I just like isn't like they like I talk about it in a way where also other people are like, wait, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, yeah,
What do you mean? Like what? No,
yeah,
you're reading too much. It's just a show. Like they're just in
yeah,
bikinis, they're in swimsuits.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're just supposed to know. Like
Yeah, yeah. I know. I think it's what happens when you have an analytical brain,
yeah,
you know? Like I also had an evolutionary like I don't know what you would call him, scientist, research.
psychologist, even
No, no,
evolutionary psych.
he wasn't he was someone who I guess he might have been a
Or a
psychologist, but he
biologist? There's also evolutionary
I
biology.
think that's what he was. Yeah,
Okay,
I
an
think that's what
evolutionary
he
biologist.
was.
Okay.
Yeah, he was giving a lecture at some university. I don't know, but he was saying like in every human group, you need ones that are willing to sit around or like see the woods. Yeah, like when you're out there, you would need humans who can see the forest and look for a tiger. But you also need a human who is obsessed with the different type of trees and
Yeah.
identifying all the differences between all the little trees. Like you will always get one person out of 100 who's like that, and it's necessary.
And no, it's very interesting, yeah, because for me and like my personal life, it's like I've also like I think I question assumptions that people just assume are true. Like I'll
Yeah.
ask people why, like and they'll be like, "Oh, this is the way things are," and I'll say why, and then people will because in computer science, you can't assume anything is true because a computer
Mm.
will only do what you tell it to. So you have to really
Mm.
so I think I just kind of applied that to like my social life where people will
Yeah.
say things and I'll just say like, "Where'd you come up with that or this?" And then they'll look at me and they'll really be confused, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, you're saying
Yeah.
something that it's like it sounds more like your opinion and not something like
Yeah.
truth."
Yeah. Exactly. And I guess that's what happens when you study at like a higher kind of academic level.
Mm.
Your brain is trained. And then for some of us, it's, because you're naturally analytical, it's like a fusion of like what you've studied and the fact that your brain is good at analyzing and noticing patterns. So it's like, I do the same with language. When people speak to me, I'm really listening to a lot of things that they're saying. And I do believe though that slows. Like I'm not. Sometimes it means that I'm not actually like focusing properly. But like I'm, especially when they write, I can work out. Usually, I'm pretty good at this. I can tell who's without seeing their name. I'm like, yeah, I know who sent that. That's so
Wow, okay.
there. I can just tell. Like there are little patterns that people do, and you're like, yeah, that's so them. The syntax, everything. That's just yeah. And it's like so I completely get what you're saying. Like I guess with you though, like computer science,
Yeah.
I find it quite interesting because it's like with computers, it's like you said, you are the human inputting this information,
Exactly.
yeah, into the computer.
But what's interesting about computer science is when you're not inputting information and you're just like in your normal day-to-day life, I then just start looking for like loops or repetition, like repetition. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting that they keep going back to this one topic, or that's
Mhm.
interesting that like this person behaves like this. And so it's like it's weird, even though it's like might say computer science. There's so many, it's so broad because computers are just about in anything. Like you can use a computer for music, you can use it to take notes, you can use it for a phone call, you can use it.
Yeah. I
And
see
so
them
it,
now. They're like an extension of us as humans. They're almost embedded into human biology
mhm,
itself. They're not biological, obviously, but
no.
I just feel like yeah, they're so intertwined in our life now. It's great. It's amazing when you think about it.
And so yeah, like in my day-to-day life, I just like, yeah, I just start testing assumptions. I'm
Mm,
like, under like what makes this true? What makes this false? What's the
mhm,
relation? And yeah, I maybe some people might think that's intense. I could see it because day to day, like, oh my God, da, 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 like,
mhm.
like
Yeah.
going from that to like, yeah, like, wait, what makes you want to say that? Like, and it's interesting because for me, I'm not even thinking twice when I ask some questions.
I know, because that's how your brain is wired. See, and the people who don't think that way, they can't help it either because their brain is wired for a different type of socialization and conversation. So none of this is like people consciously choosing to be one way or the other. So I think, but the only thing is, the people who are into chit chat and small talk are the majority. So
Yeah.
it's like, in life, if you're like us who prefer not to have, unfortunately, you kind of have to not be amazing at like this is what I was taught. In that therapy I did, DBT, there was like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, there was a whole thing where they told us like you have to get good at small talk. Not amazing at it, but you have to sorry, not good, but it's gonna happen and you have to incorporate it in your life. So like practice it, maybe have a script. You don't have to enjoy it, but sometimes you just have to do it, sort of thing.
Yeah. I think for me, when it comes to small talk now, it's just, I don't know, my personality naturally filters people out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not even
Oh,
an aggressive, it's not a malicious thing. I'll have small talk. I'll be like, hey, how are you? Job, kids, hobbies, travels, what languages you're learning, what books are you reading, what kind of foods do you like? But then the people who I have a real conversation with, I just gravitate towards people who are more expressive, who are a little bit more unique, or a little bit more,
intense.
yeah, a little bit more intense, or not as
Yeah.
performative. It's just not as
Yeah.
performative. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, look, I think there's weaknesses and strength in everything, in every
exactly.
personality type. Yeah. So like intense analytical people, I believe that, especially if they're creative as well, like they are the people that are innovators, that change things up, But then at the same time, it is essential to have people that also like structure and familiar stuff.
Yeah.
Like they also have their purpose too. So I feel like you made a good point. Like now I mean, you feel like your personality filters people out. I would say like you attract the right kind of people to
Hmm.
socialize with. So the good thing is, I think when you're younger, yeah, I used to feel insecure about the way I was. I used to mask a lot. But as an adult now, you can be like, what, I'm okay with the fact that, yeah, I'm this kind of person. I don't mind if people don't enjoy my conversation because I know there's people out there who will. So that's it.
Also, another thing as I've gotten older is the people who are more small talk, more. I try to meet people at their level.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
don't like this idea of a superiority or, oh, I talk about deep topics and you don't know. Like,
yeah,
you meet people where they are because
yeah,
at the end of the day, the other person's experience with me matters too. I don't want to come off as
exactly.
smug or like judgmental because
Yeah,
if I talk about these topics. No, if people want to just talk about, the weather and how hot it is in Texas summers, that's what we'll talk about. And that's okay
yeah,
too.
yeah. No, that's so important as well. Um, and I think at one point when I was at uni, I had a job for a while, like working. You guys would call it like on a checkout, I think.
Oh, the
You know,
cashier. The cashier.
yeah, I was
Yeah, the
working
cashier.
and swiping, just like a part-time job. And there, like, that is where you have the most, like, I've never spoke about the weather so much in my life because people would come in and be like, "Oh, isn't it cloudy today? Oh, it's a bit chilly today." And it's like the same conversation over and
Over
over
and over
again.
and over.
I got really good at talking about the weather and I just could like go into like a dissociative like third person state where I'm just like, "Yes, the weather is awful today." And I could just do it over and over again or like the same conversation like, "Oh, I only popped in for a pint of milk. Like, oh, can you believe? Like, I only needed a loaf of bread." And I'm like, oh yeah, that
Well,
happened.
and to defend people is it's like in order to go a level deeper with the cashier, that would require you to linger though. And that's just
Yeah,
not and that's just not what I guess a grocery store, a convenience store, a corner shop, that's not what
yeah,
they're
yeah,
designed for, sadly.
yeah.
They're not designed for people to linger.
I know, but at the same time, people still want to have a conversation. Like, and
Yeah, that is the interesting thing.
yeah, and look, I mean, I didn't really mind because I was like, these people are actually nice. Like, they're just trying to like have a nice chat with me and they're just sharing the fact that they only popped in for a loaf of bread. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, many people say the same thing, but I don't mind having this conversation like 20 times in a day. It's no problem, you know?
So one time I was like at work, and this is when I scooped rice. Like I scooped rice, like I used to work at Kava. And I remember this one, I was just on my break, and this customer walks up to me. I'm like sitting, drinking a drink, eating some pita bread. And he's like, "Oh, I bought stock in your company, like in the Kava company." And
Wow.
then, and I don't know what reaction he wanted me to say, but I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, like the S&P," like I said, "Oh, the S&P is up right now." And he was just like, "What did you say that? Well, how are you supposed, you just work here?" And I'm just like, "You
Oh
know what?"
my gosh.
And it's like, yeah, so it's like sometimes if you say something, like if you go against, because some customers are like, yeah, upper middle class, they have investments, but if you like go against that, they'll like,
Against the grain.
against,
Yeah.
yeah, if you say
Yeah.
something just as like on the same
Yeah.
level as them, it actually, I'm like, are you feeling insecure because this is like
Yeah.
public information? Anyone, like
I
what I said,
know. No, you make a great point actually, because when you do work at like jobs which are like, where people just assume that you're not educated or you just don't know this stuff.
yeah,
Like you said, it's like you break the fourth wall and you say this stuff, and they're like, "Whoa!" Like didn't expect that from you, and you're like, Like what? But again, I think that comes from the assumptions of preconceived ideas people
Yeah,
have. And I look at people who like, my local McDonald's, I look at them working there, I'm like, someone could be studying to be a doctor. Somebody might be a doctor from another country who's had to
exactly.
migrate here. Like, you
No,
can't judge them.
Ellie, like when I was working in, yeah, when I was at Kava, there's this guy, like, yeah, from Ukraine, but he was either a lawyer or he was a professional. He was a
Hmm.
professional from Ukraine, but then when he came to the United States, his credentials didn't transfer over.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah,
you'll see
that
somebody
happens.
from another country who's, yeah, like a lawyer, an accountant, a finance or a banker, but then they might just be working like, at Amazon or at Whole Foods, or they might work a
Yeah,
warehouse job or retail, and you might think, oh wait, what are they doing with their life? When it's like, no, like the
you
credentials
never
just didn't
know.
transfer over. You just never
I know
know.
you don't exactly. And I used to really like, I would do this thing with couples. I would look at couples and think, oh my God, they look so happy. Like, I wish I was them, like in a restaurant holding hands, taking selfies. And I'm like, then when I went through my own like life, I was like,
Yeah.
man, you do not know what's going on behind closed doors. Like, they could be smiling and you have no idea. It's shocking how people put on a face in public naturally, but I think it's just for us as like people. Like when I used to idolize relationships, I learned like, no, don't ever do that, because you just genuinely, you never know.
And I'm the same exact way. I remember I used to like look at my friends who are in relationships, look at my friends who are married, and and I'm telling you, each and every one of them, I'm not saying like they've said, "Oh, my relationship is terrible," but they've given me a more honest perspective. If they actually like when the conversation goes into a more emotionally honest, they're like, "Yes, Caleb, I love this person. I have a deep love. I really enjoy them, but sometimes it's just not easy. It's just
Yeah,
not easy." And I
yeah.
think that's very true. Like even like I
Hmm.
look at like my own life, like I don't have a lot of romantic relationship experience, but I look at my own life and it's like, yes, it's great. I mean, it's great to like relate to someone, but there are some tough times when you're like, we're different people, we have differences, and they're just not the easiest to work through.
Yeah, yeah. And there's so many unwritten rules that are
Oh,
rules, but nobody admits them. So it's like, I just think, when it comes to all that stuff, again, it's like humans create more problems for ourselves sometimes. I swear, like, there are easier ways to do it. If you want all these controls,
yeah.
all these rules, there are easier ways.
I think there are easier ways, but I think of everything like a trade-off. Like I think of that
Yeah,
quote,
that's true.
like
Yeah.
there are no solutions, only trade-off. So I
Hmm.
think it might be easier in one way, but then on the back end, you might be dealing with something you did not foresee.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree with that as well. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's interesting. It's like I think when I think of like relationships and everything and like small talk, it's like there's things that are at the surface, like there are things that are at the surface, but then like once you go a layer deeper, that's when like it's kind of like the iceberg theory. Once you go like a layer deeper, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so vast.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good lesson to carry through life because, you know, things at surface level look one way, but like you said, the iceberg theory is really good.
Hmm.
Everything is like an iceberg. I don't think there are many things. Like we said at the start, and you said it as
Yeah,
well, like
yeah.
life is not like computer science, it's not
No.
binary, it's not in or out, on or off, I don't know the terms, but like I'm
Oh
I'm
no,
trying
binary.
to
Trust
like,
me, that's all you need to know is binary.
yeah,
And the funny
yeah.
part is, if you go deeper into computer science, you're going to realize that binary starts to break down the moment you have to deal with like large amounts of data, or the moment you add the internet to things. It's like
Mm.
then you can't. Then it's like there isn't one solution. There's actually multiple correct solutions.
That's really interesting, though. I feel like that replicates life in a way because, if you look, you would know this too. Like when you think atoms are the smallest unit, yeah, they might be, but once you go smaller than an atom, it starts expanding off into way
Yeah,
different, like
yeah.
all these different areas of like quantum
Yeah,
physics,
and
whatever.
I think also like mind you, I am not a nuclear scientist, but I think that's how like nuclear reactions happen. Is like when you're splitting something so
Yeah,
small, when you try to break it down, that's when
yeah,
it
nuclear
actually
fission,
it
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it just starts to expand. And so it's like
yeah,
these things
Yeah.
that when we try to break them down, actually after a certain level, life is gonna want to expand. It's not gonna want to
Yeah.
like keep getting cut down anymore.
So interesting, right? It's almost as if it just goes back to that thing. I guess you can't really, there's no such thing as nothing. And when you
No.
try to, when you try to reduce it down, it's like you only end up causing a much. Wow, this that's just so interesting. Sorry, my
Yeah, no,
brain
it's
is
very
whoa, like
no, no, my
yeah,
Ellie, and this is what happens when I talk to you, or just a good conversation in general. Like emotionally, I go in a way, and intellectually, I go in a way where I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting to like come to that realization.
yeah. And it's like growth, isn't it? It's like growth in a conversation, or sometimes just reinforcing like ideas you might already have. But yeah, and it's always good to hear your like I like to hear your computer science perspective
Okay,
and
thank
take on
you.
things because it's interesting because it's like as I said it's almost like a parallel kind of to life or
Hmm.
it reflects life, right? Like
Well,
yeah,
I think broad topics will do that.
yeah, yeah,
So it's
that
like computer science, mathematics. If I studied philosophy, I might say things a little differently, but I'm still trying to address the same problem.
yeah. Although with me in philosophy, after hearing a lot about philosophy, I do sometimes just wonder, is this just semantics? Are we just arguing over definitions here? Because I don't feel like many truths are sold.
I think when it comes from my understanding of philosophy, I think it's more about like trying to explore an idea and then really just
Yeah,
reinforce some beliefs. Yes, there are a lot of semantics and there's a lot of confusing language.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, Quinn's
And
ideas. Oh yeah, no, Jason, you've told me about him. I've
I'll have
actually
to check
watched.
him out,
No,
Jason.
he's actually really no Ellie. He's actually really interesting, especially if you're like I don't know if you like Dune. I don't know if you like the Dune series, the
I
Dune book
mean,
series.
I've I think I read like 2 pages of the book,
Oh, okay.
and I remember the start of the book was really bizarre. Like the mum and the son are like treading along the desert. Is this
Yeah,
that's it, right?
it's about well, it's weird. It's about like Frank Herbert. It's weird. I basically call it like what is it called? Like it's like a parody of Islam and then like also like environmentalist. Yeah, and
What?
environmentalism. No, it's yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's like yeah, because the thing is, it's like because Paul is the Mahdi, like he becomes the Mahdi. Like so, like I said, it's like a
That
parody.
sounds
Like
like the Mehdi. That
or
sounds like
that
the Mehdi.
exactly that no,
Yeah.
and he did that intentionally. But it's also like I said, there's also a lot of environmental there's also a lot of environmental politic like Paul yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird how it
He
works.
had a bone to pick with Islam and environmental
The
stuff. Like
envi
that.
no, it really is. It's like yeah, like if you got like a Dawa and like an environmental scientist, and if they had a baby, that's the Dune series.
That's really interesting. Like,
But
I think,
it's yeah.
yeah. No,
No,
carry on, carry
I
on.
was just gonna say, but it's like it's so fascinating because it's like yeah like they're on this desert planet and it's all about spice like it's all about like
Spice.
yeah that's like the resource basically like the planet
Uh,
it's like an opiate actually it's kind of like an opiate
I swear there is a real thing called spice in real life.
maybe
Like, I don't,
maybe
I won't start
but
talking about that here, but yeah,
but no
yeah.
but no what is it called yeah he used to focus on a song of ice and fire yeah in early years and then he branched out to fantasy
Oh,
and canon yeah no
I've read that book. I've
Oh,
read
you've
that
read
book.
okay, so you've read you see, Ellie, so you're the opposite. I read 2 pages of the first Game of Thrones and I was like,
Okay.
eh. Because I've
No,
watched the series.
yeah, see, so everyone was watching the series, and I just thought I'm gonna read the book because I don't know why I decided to do that. I just thought, let me read the book, and it was great.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not that different. I mean, like the ending is still the ending, which is shocking and horrible. And I was like,
Okay.
whoa, like killing off the main character, like what the hell? But yeah, it was a great book. I really enjoyed it, and
Wow,
I
okay.
quite quickly. It was so good, I couldn't put it down. I really enjoyed it. He's a
No,
great author.
yeah, no, George R. R. Martin really knows how to
Right.
like I think what I like about him is it's like there's no good guys, but there are no bad guys. Like everyone's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
acting in their own self-interest.
I like that though, and I feel like that makes gives a really human touch to it because like
Mm-hmm.
just like life. Like he's not this, yeah, like you said, the narrative is quite loose, so it's like you can just be part of the story. But I was gonna say, isn't Dune is not written by Lovecraft, is it? I don't think
No,
so.
it's Frank Herbert. It's Frank Herbert.
Frank Herbert, sorry, yes, yes, because I was gonna buy one of Lovecraft's book the other day, and I was thinking, wait, this isn't the guy who wrote Dune. So I don't know why my
Yeah.
brain
No,
got
no,
confused
it's okay.
those.
Because also
Yeah.
people told me I should read like the body problem.
Ah, yes.
Y-
I read part of it and I watched a bit of it on Netflix as well.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people like somebody was like, Caleb, you check it out. The thing is right now I'm into mythology. So I'm
Ah,
trying to
okay.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
It's more
trying to
science
like,
fiction.
yeah, it's more science. Yeah. So right now I'm into like, well, it's weird.
Yeah.
I'm into mythology, but also like Fight Club, 1984, Handmaid's Tales, Animal Farm. So I'm also doing like modern things too.
Like dystopian kind
Yeah,
of like,
dystopian.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, at the moment I like what I've been doing is I've just been like, especially because like when you've got to travel and stuff. So like I had a kind of book thing where I found so many books I wanted to read, and I had a really good list like ready to go. And then I ended up reading this really like, I don't want to call it cheesy, but the book I ended up really reading was like some novel, like woman's book about, oh man, I'm not even going to go into it, but it was like my guilty pleasure. I was like, you know what, this is easy reading and I kind of like it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
trust me, I know some girls. I know some girls that like, is it called, is it smut or romance novels? I don't
Yes,
know.
yes, yes, smutty,
And it's
yeah.
like, well, the thing is, I mean, I can't like, and why cowboys? Why are women obsessed with? Why does the man have to be a cowboy or like
And
he has
that's
to be?
it's so funny you say that because that is literally the book I was reading.
Yeah, it's about why
That's
a cow,
literally
or it's like he has to be a firefighter or a pilot or the like. Why does he have to be like this like It's like an
you,
archetypal man. Like the
you
main.
don't know the feeling of a guy who's like a cowboy coming in and just taking you.
Yeah,
Like that's nothing.
yeah.
I don't think guys or people, I don't know, maybe like gay guys can relate to it as well, or people who are also attracted to like men. But like there's just this is, I feel like what I like about being a woman, like our imagination is really good with this kind of stuff. So it's like, and werewolves, like vampires. I
What?
watched this
Like, yeah.
vampire series. I was like, wow, this is hot. I was like,
What?
this is
Like.
hot.
Because I guess you see men are maybe not some men, not all men, but some men are a bit more binary. They're like, okay, like the woman, she just has to be pretty enough. It doesn't matter if she's a
I think
vampire.
that's
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But women need that extra
yeah.
layer of like,
We
like
really do. We're
fantasy.
not visual. Most women, because we can't, I won't generalize, but most women are not as visual as men. So, like, men are wired to be visual, and that's testosterone's effect on the brain as well. So, like, you see a hot woman, you're like, I mean, I hear what guys say, I hear how guys talk. You guys pretty much know from the get go, and just looking at her really gets you going. But with women, it's not really like that. You need the whole story around it to like feel good.
Like, oh my
And
gosh, he's so caring and he does this and the way he treats this other person. But then sometimes he has a dark side. I'm like, what? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's a vampire. I mean,
He's a
come on.
vampire.
Like,
Yeah, he's a vampire. Yeah, and I'm just
I'm
like,
not saying like that's my niche, but I get it. I'm just like, and yeah, it's just. But then, like in real life, of course, you wouldn't just date a guy because he's a cowboy. These are just purely fantasy things, like a way to
well, that's what's
escape.
so
But
interesting is it's like you'll see women like they'll describe their ideal man, and then you'll look at their husbands, you'll look at their boyfriends, you're like, "Oh, what in the world? This guy just eats Dorito chips on the couch all day. Like, what's
oh man, that's not gonna be a guy I ever like would be attracted to. Like, but I think when it comes down to it, because like the weird thing is, like, I feel like guys have like way more hot girls to choose from than women. Like, a
oh,
lot of men don't
absolutely.
seem very good. Yeah, a lot of men they could look good, but they don't take pride in their appearance for some reason. Not all guys, and I see Jason did it. Hashtag not all men. And the fact that we have to
Lols.
keep saying this caveat,
Yeah, I
like
think
not all
that
guys,
yeah,
like
we have
I
to
don't know why.
quantify and we have to qualify.
Yeah,
It's because on the internet there really isn't any nuance.
ah, true, yeah. So someone could
So
hear this and really believe that we're talking about,
yeah,
yeah.
because Ellie, if I was just like, oh my gosh, like what is it called? I just like women for like to cook and clean for me. Like if I just said that and then like out of context somebody clipped it and then posted it and sent it. Oh, look what this is what this is what in 10 days this is
Yeah.
what Caleb thinks about women where.
Yeah.
Like
And people
that is
have a
good.
literacy problem as well. Like they can't like break down what you're trying to say. Like if you say something like, I feel this way because XYZ, they'll just accuse you outright of, oh, so you think all people are like this?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I was like,
so oh, that's how it is. Like, didn't you read or listen to what I said? Like, can you understand? Like
and this
a
really
little
bothers
of
me.
course. Yeah,
Because
yeah, I know,
it's
I
like
know.
people can't you can't be vulnerable, you can't have nuance, you can't really express yourself. If you're trying to like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not racist, I'm not misogynist, I'm not misandrous, I'm not, I care about the environment. Like you can't have any like it's as if like there's like this preset morality we have to follow,
I
and
know,
anytime
I
you
know,
veer
I
away
know.
from it, God
Because there's like a
forbid.
mob waiting for you. Exactly. There's an online mob just waiting to be offended and enraged. And that's, like you said, that's why we have to walk on eggshells around what we say. And by the way, Jason, like I was joking along with
No,
you.
yeah,
I
no,
knew
we were
you were,
we were just,
yeah,
yeah.
we were
And
joking along
look,
too.
luckily about this channel is it's so small that like I know people by name, I know, but obviously, of
It's
course, bigger
nice.
channels. Yeah, it's nice. Like Jason comes in, Baz comes in. There's somebody else that
Yeah,
sometimes comes in too. So it's like I know
yeah.
people by name, but like on bigger channels, there's a lot of people that just don't know you.
Yep, yep. And that's the kind of the weird thing is though, everyone would feel like they know you because there's like that parasocial thing going on. So
Yeah,
it's
that's so
a
weird.
very strange feeling. Yeah, yeah,
And which is really strange about a parasocial thing is it's like I feel like if people met me in my day-to-day life, I think they would realize just how normal, like how like I say, oh, we'll
yeah.
have deep talks in this. Like, no, we would talk about your family. I would talk about like it wouldn't be like don't expect like this like grandiose thing. It's
I know,
because for
I
me, I'm
know.
a very
All
like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think it's a human thing once again, and I think we said this in another stream about like celebrities, how this
Yeah.
happens with celebrities, like like yeah, people idolize them and whatnot, but yeah, never idolize anyone. No
No,
human is
don't because it's
God level.
because if you
Yeah.
actually meet me in my personal life, I talk about Chick-fil-A a lot. Like that's like, yeah,
Mhm.
okay, fine, I'll talk about the meaning of life. We'll go there. But like I talk about eating
Yeah.
chicken nugget, 12 count chicken nuggets a lot. Like that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite. And it's like, and that's okay. Like that's okay. Like yes, on the internet, you might see me talk about all this depth and nuance, but then in my day-to-day life, you'll just see me drinking some lemonade, having some waffle fries, drinking a milkshake, and that's like that's my life.
Yeah, you'll just see me on my phone just scrolling
Yeah.
around. That's what I do. I really don't talk much in my real life. I only speak when I really have to.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not like a sociable, happy like I'm generally just someone who likes to just read, and if I'm not reading, I'm just cooking, I'm just doing stuff. Like that's my life. Like
I
yeah.
I think for me, it's like it's weird. I think I mimic extroverts because I think people would like, oh my gosh, you're so energetic, the way you are around people.
Yeah, you do come
Yes,
across as an extrovert to me.
but then it's like, but if you actually like started to see my hobbies and see what I did in my free time, that's when like I think you'll start to see
But
a
you know how you know
divergence.
if you're an extrovert or an introvert? So, do you get energized from socializing or do you get drained from socializing?
It depends, but mainly I think I'm more in the middle, but honestly, like I have my limits to social. I have my limits. I can't just go out and be like all day. I can like I'm going to an event tonight. Like tonight I'm gonna go to an event. I'll have some conversations with some people,
Mhm.
but it's not like I have to build myself up for the event.
Okay, because like, so would you actively go out to socialize as a way to have fun?
Yes, but not like
Okay.
but not but like I said, I have limits though. I can only do it up to a certain then I'm like, okay, this is like I've done enough.
Yeah, because like I know I'm an introvert, so for me, I do not go out to socialize for fun. I'm the opposite. So like my idea of a night, like don't get me wrong, when I was younger, I was way more of an extrovert, but now I'm like the idea for me an ideal night would be sitting indoors, like reading or watching. No, I don't really watch TV, but like yeah,
Oh no,
doing
me
something.
too. Ellie, me too. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Like I read like I was reading on Sunday, like I was reading like on a Saturday night. It was the most fun. The problem is though,
Hmm.
is like I do like some freelance work that requires me to like be like extroverted. So I think
Oh
like
yeah,
and
like work, that's absolutely understandable with work and stuff. Yeah,
well, it's
yeah.
not just what I do for freelance is it's like I need to be positive. Like I need to be because it's
Mm,
like
okay.
because it's like they need like because it's like community work. It's like nonprofit community work where I'm
Hmm.
dealing with
Yeah,
people. So even if you're
yeah.
introverted, because I know not everyone is like the most extroverted, it's like the environment you kind of have to be more like, you have to act more than it's almost like you're paying a bit of a character of yourself.
Yeah, like when I was teaching, it was exactly the same. No matter how I felt, I still had to get up there and talk and, like be somewhat energetic. I
Exactly.
didn't feel like it all the time, but you have to. You're teaching, like
Yeah, yeah,
30 eyes
because
are looking at you. So it's like
and
you have to,
also it's
yeah.
like you're setting the room, like you're setting the tone, like you are setting the tone for
Yes. Yeah, and that was really important because I noticed, like, especially when you're dealing with kids, like if you come in with a good mental energy, the kids actually pick up on that and
exactly.
they're controlled. You can keep the class under control. And like when I was teaching adults as well, that was a bit trickier because sometimes they just straight up, not that they had an issue with me, but some adults just being adults are a little bit like, ugh, positivity, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Adults are
yeah,
interesting. Adults are very interesting to deal with because, yeah, you
yeah,
just don't know who you're getting. Some are like
yeah,
positive and will roll along with it. Other ones are like, like, whoa, whoa, I had a long day and I didn't want it,
yeah.
and I'm
Some
just like,
people have no problem making you feel like you'll be happy and polite, and they're literally just looking at you like this, like not giving you an inch, and you're just like, okay, like well, and back then the way I would feel like, oh, they're just looking at me, I need to up the ante, I need to be happier, I need to be more animated, and
no,
they're still just staring at me. Now I'm like, okay, like if that's your energy, I'm gonna give it right back to you. Like you're gonna stare at me, I'll stare back at you. Like that's how it's gonna be.
that's why
But
I'm all
yeah.
about balance. So if someone is like
Mm.
acting this way, I'm like, okay, like I try not to be like this is where I kind of agree with stoicism. I'm just like, you know what, that's
No, so
you,
I
not
do
me.
too. Yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah, it's a
agree. I agree.
reflection
Like,
of you.
yeah, and I do like the kind of thing where it's like you give people the energy they give to you. So it's like, don't, if they're giving you like the cold shoulder, well then just be not mean to them, but just, yeah, match the energy. Like don't ever like go overboard. And at the same time, like if someone's, I mean, you don't have to be friends with everyone, but I'm saying
No,
like just that kind of match the energy. Unless they're
exactly.
really toxic and like violent, then no, don't like get away from that situation.
Yeah, yeah, because for me, it's like I have my baseline. If someone's gonna like act a certain way, okay, I'll act. But then it's like if somebody's coming in with positive energy, good intentions, really enjoyable, then of course I'm gonna because and also people want to be around like at least positive people want to be around other positive people.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Ellie, I
I
did
was just
want to, yeah, I was gonna say, like, maybe we should, this stream's been going really well, but I think we should call
yeah.
it at,
Yeah, I was just about to say I saw the time and I thought I think we've been going for an hour and a half, which I think is
yeah, an
really
hour and
good.
which, oh my gosh, no, and I, like, Ellie,
Been a great
like I said,
conversation. It's just we flow
best
along.
friend of the, when I say best friend of the channel, I
Aw.
mean, best, like, whenever I talk about, when we talk about the Intende channel, Ellie is a part of this channel's history,
I'm
folklore,
the family
mythology,
friend.
family
I'm the
friend,
family
yes,
friend.
exactly. I'll see you at Thanksgiving. Or
Yeah, I'll be there
whatever.
in
I
the
don't.
corner with my plate of
Yes,
food, like just sitting
yes.
there, like
Oh
I'm
yes. I'll
not.
have.
I'm
We'll
talking
make some
about
Sunday
what auntie.
roast and UK continental breakfast for you
I would
because
actually love to have some Ugandan food. Like if I ever go to your family function,
well,
I would love to.
Ellie, you're gonna realize that like we're very diasporic. We're
Well, that's
diasporic
fair enough.
Ugandans,
Yeah, like
so it's like
okay,
heavily
that's fine.
Americanized.
I'm just
You
saying,
yeah.
if you ever do have Ugandan food out there, I would have some
Well,
happily.
okay, and Ellie, we will. You know what? Webele, which means thank you. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
Webele.
yeah,
Okay. Oh,
Webe.
I learned a new
Okay,
word.
yeah,
Yeah.
but no, but thank you thank you, Jason. It was so lovely. Thank you for everyone
Thank
watching.
you. Yeah.
No, it's really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
yeah,
as well, Jason.
I might go live tomorrow by myself. I really
Yeah.
don't plan these. I really just don't plan these. So
You
we'll
do
see
like
what I
spawn.
Yeah, they just
They
spawn.
spawn and you feel like
It's like, oh, I have like
yeah,
45 minutes to 2 hours to kill. Let me kill them. I'll just go live.
yeah,
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
yeah. Okay. Well, okay
Bye.
then. So yeah. All right then. Bye. Bye. Bye.